or as we used to know it in those days, United Distillers. And that was not in Europe, but it was actually first in Korea and later in Singapore, where I was for those 4 years, Mr. Johnny Walker in that area, and I still enjoy a glass of scotch. So it's a great pleasure to be here again, and great pleasure to be sharing a platform with Philip. Both he and I have occasionally got into a certain amount of trouble with the bosses of the Conservative Party, so I do very much sympathise with the problems that he's faced. I think it's fair to say that we're both on the Conservative wing of the Conservative Party, and extremely happy to be there. Now you may say, what's this guy coming up from the East Midlands to talk to us about energy and climate change and nuclear power for? Well, I am a member of the European Parliament's Temporary Committee on Climate Change. Incidentally, I was in one of their meetings only yesterday? Extraordinary. And they were having a long discussion about actually making the Temporary Committee permanent. And I thought of Parkinson's law, you know, the work expanding to fill the available time. And it was just a classic example of a bureaucracy that won't go away. They had an 18-month mandate, but this is so important that they've got to go on permanently. I've also spent a lot of time with a group in the Parliament called the European Energy Forum and followed energy issues very closely. I went with them to a nuclear power station in Finland called Olkiluoto, and I'll come back to that in a minute if I may. Now, I'm not here tonight to talk to you about climate change, although I could if you wanted me to. I have very strong views about it. I've distributed copies of my leaflet with the pin-up species of the climate change hysterics, the polar bear on the front. I hope you'll enjoy that. But we're not here to talk tonight about climate change. Whether you believe that climate change is happening and is caused by carbon dioxide emissions, or whether you don't, there are still powerful reasons to be in favour of nuclear. And I would say the one place where I would disagree with our good colleagues who are opposing wind farms, and by the way, I'm opposing wind farms in Leicestershire, and my wife tomorrow night will be out on the streets of the next village supporting a local group there at their village street fair who are opposing Leicestershire wind farms. So we feel very strongly about this. Where I disagree is that you are not against wind farms as such, you are merely in favour of keeping your local park free of industrialisation. I support you in that objective, but I have to say that I myself am against wind farms.